Alright, so here we have Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the PS2. It's essentially the same thing as Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube, but it has more games on it and other extra features and stuff that weren't on there. So let's take a look at it. I do warn you though, my disc is kinda scratched, so the load times are pretty slow right now. I will be cutting a lot of that out for this video though. But yeah. I will warn you, since my disc is scratched, there are things that are gonna look glitchy. We're just gonna focus mainly on the games now, which it includes most of the same ones as Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube, but it also includes some new ones too, which that's gonna be the main focus of this video, since we already did all the other ones in the Sonic Mega Collection video. I do have one complaint about this collection for the Genesis games, at least. We're gonna click Sonic 2 and I'll show you what's wrong. Okay, it's loaded. So, look here, it works, right? But there's one big drawback. It has freaking borders on it that makes it look like I'm playing the PAL version. And the emulation isn't even that great either. The sound, it sounds kind of off, like the jumping sounds a bit low and the rings sound too loud. And the picture looks a bit blurry in my opinion. Like, this collection includes more, but has some cons, which I don't know. I feel like the games, they should all play how they're supposed to play. Like, wouldn't you want it to fill the screen by default? This happens anytime you start a Genesis game. It's pretty annoying. This collection includes some more features too, like saving, but that's not the point. The whole point is to be able to play the actual game in a proper way with no freaking borders. As I said before, it includes more games. Look here, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear. Yeah, as I said earlier, there's some Game Gear games on here, which some of them were on the Master System. I don't know why they didn't include that version of some of those games, because then at least it would have been formatted for the TV and not cropped and zoomed in, making everything look giant and also making the levels harder. Well, anyway, let's just play Sonic 1 and see how it runs here. So here's Sonic 1 on the Game Gear. For those who don't know, this is actually much different than the Genesis game. It has different levels and such. Yeah, it's so zoomed in. I don't know why I can't use a smaller viewing window or something. Or better yet, why isn't this the Master System version of Sonic 1, which is pretty much the same game, but except it's formatted for the TV because the Master System plugs into a TV. But I don't know. But other than these emulation issues and the decision to use the Game Gear version over the Master System one, it plays fine. Now, let's go to some of the other games. This actually includes two of the worst Sonic games, Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Blast. Oh boy. Look at here, it's just a bunch of Sonics rolling on the Sega logo. Here, Sonic rolling back and forth into the tunnel. Sonic Labyrinth. Do I want to press start? I don't know why they included this instead of including some good stuff like Sonic 2 on the Game Gear or Sonic Triple Trouble on the Game Gear. Both of those are pretty good ones. Well, maybe not so much Sonic 2 because that one is hard as crap. But it's still fun and a lot better than this. They tried to do a Sonic 3D Blast feel here, but failed miserably. It replicates the horribleness here. This game sucks. I'm just gonna skip it. So yeah, I rate this version of Sonic Mega Collection a bit lower than the GameCube one, mainly for the screen issue on the Genesis games, and the fact that it includes Sonic Blast and Sonic Labyrinth. They could have included some better games, like why they didn't include all the other Sonic Game Gear games that they would have all probably fit on here. Well, anyway, let's go to Sonic Blast now. You could choose Sonic or Knuckles on this game, actually. I guess they were going for a Donkey Kong Country-ish feel with pre-rendered 3D graphics, which, for Game Gear standards, it looks pretty nice, actually. The problem with this game is the controls are just awful. Also, the levels are extremely short. Also, this was actually a pretty late Game Gear release. It released in 1996, actually. I don't know. This is just boring. Let's go over to the next game. The next one is Sonic Drift, which this is kinda like Sonic's answer to Mario Kart. Funny thing about this one is, it was only released in Japan. So, this is actually the first time it was released outside of Japan. Which is pretty cool, you get to actually play it here without having to import a copy from Japan or something. But Game Gear is region free anyway, so you can import it and play it on a real Game Gear if you wanted to. See, this has Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman. Dr. Robotnik is called Eggman, which that was his original Japanese name, and only in Japan until Sonic Adventure came out, and they made him Eggman worldwide. This is also the first time you can play this and a lot of the other Game Gear games on the TV, because the Game Gear, unlike the Game Boy, never had any way to play it on the TV. At least not until mods in recent years surfaced. That was a short invincibility. Also, not sure if you noticed, but the invincibility theme is actually a remix of the Japanese Sonic CD intro. Yeah, I win. But yeah, that's pretty cool they made a Sonic racing game. Although I wonder why it wasn't a Sonic racing game on foot. Which, they did actually make one, and, well, it sucked. Sonic R is what I'm referring to. Which, that's not on here, that's actually on the Gems collection. And it even includes the rest of the Game Gear Sonic games like Sonic 2 and Sonic Triple Trouble. All of which should have been included on here. But yeah, let's go to the next game. Sonic Chaos is next. There's another one where I wonder why they didn't use the Master System version, which is formatted for the TV, but yeah. You can even use Tails if you wanted to, but Tails is an easier version of the game. Sonic Chaos is actually my favorite of the Master System and Game Gear Sonic games. It's actually also the easiest one of the bunch. The cool thing about this is that this is actually the first game where you can control Tails flying. Although it's a bit weird in this one, you have to press up first and then jump for him to fly. In the later games, starting with Sonic 3, you could just press the jump button twice and he flies. But yeah, this one is just weird though. That was weird. Alright, let's go to the last one. I think it's the last game. Yep, it is. Yep. This is just a watered-down Game Gear 8-bit version of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which was also on the Master System as well. There's two-player mode, but who would want to play with you on this version when you could play the Genesis version, which is far superior, and included on here too. That combination of green and purple almost looks like Barney's color. Yeah, enough of that. Okay, so now I'm done with my whole review of Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Mega Collection Plus. If you want to get these games, and you have both consoles, I recommend the GameCube version, mostly just for the quality of it. Because if it wasn't for the screen resolution issue on the Genesis games, then this would be a perfect collection, but I don't know. I'd rather quality over quantity, but if you don't mind that, then yeah, get this version. But there's also a PC and an Xbox version of Plus as well. But anyway, so that's all for this one. Thanks for watching.